Don't forget to subscribe to Panda Outdoors. Do it now.
Okay, folks, so I'm just touching on the preparedness side of things again. So, this is my little prepping from the shed that I'm going to call this. So, I just want to touch on like why I think people should start prepping now in 2024. We've had a crazy couple of years, so I've always been into preparedness. Especially comes in hand with camping, vehicle camping, off-roading, bushcraft, fishing, just being outdoors in general, airsoft, anything like that, anything outdoors, you're kind of a little bit prepared anyway, because to go and do these activities you need certain kits. You get there, you haven't got that kit prepared in the correct way, your day's gone to shit really, sorry for swearing, but your day's gone, it's finished. As well, if anything happens, you need certain things in place. You get injured, your family needs to know where you are. They need to be able to get to you or get you help if you haven't turned up at home when you're saying you're going to. So first aid kit with you, spare food with you, stuff like that. So in the activities I do, it come hand in hand, especially when I was in the TA. And anyone in the military, I was only in the TA from when I left school till I was the age of 20. But anybody who's in military knows when you leave your fob or you leave your base or whatever, you're living out your bargain and you're fighting out your weapon. So when you go out, when we went out anywhere, 4-wheel driving, anything bushcraft, everything you need to survive is in your bargain, okay, or in your vehicle. So that's where I got being a bit more prepared from. Over the last year or so, I've delved down the rabbit hole a little bit more, and I was always big into first aid, always made sure we had first aid kits and torches in the house from a young age anyway. But now as I'm getting older, I'm diving a little bit more into it. And this is why I think people now should, in 2024, start getting a little bit more, I'm not saying go down the rabbit hole and be a full prepper, but just have a little bit of contingency in place for if anything does happen. So the reasons why I'm saying it now more than ever is, just let's rewind to 2019 and 2020. The pandemic hit. Nobody seen it coming. Nobody expected it. And it turned the world on its head. You weren't allowed in shops in big groups. You were only allowed in one at a time or two at a time, depending on the size of the shop. You could only buy certain items as well. They were only allowing you to buy the 1s and 2s of items. You couldn't buy 3 or 4 packs of this, 3 or 4 packs of that, which if you've got a big family, if you've got 2 adults and 3 kids in your family and you all enjoy a pot noodle, you were only allowed to buy 2 pot noodles, so you couldn't give your family what you wanted or stuff like that. So we had the pandemic, again, rocked us all, turned us on our head. Then moving on from that, we had the riots and the civil unrest over, I think it was 2020, maybe 2021, I'm sure it was 2020. And people rioting in America, in the UK, and stuff like that, which, especially in the UK, that was getting closer to home. I live out of the city centre, but I still live in an urban, built-up area where there's a lot of people. So for whatever reason, is that if there is anything like that, you can't get to the shop or you can't go and get medication or anything like that, if you've got a little stockpile, don't have to leave the home until you can let it all die down and it's safe to do so. So we had that. Now moving on, it's now moving into 2023. We've had the conflicts over with Russia and Ukraine, and now we've got other conflicts happening all over the world, smaller conflicts all over the world, and people are scared there's going to be a World War III. I'm not saying there is going to be a World War III or there isn't. I haven't got the pay grade, should we say, or I'm not clued up enough to speak on them matters, but all I'm saying is history kind of repeats itself, so please look back in history and see that history can repeat itself. I'm not going to say it'll be exactly the same as any of the other wars, because wars, as mankind changes, wars change and how they get forts changed as well. But when you've got our government saying they want to get involved and stuff like that, it's a little bit shady. So as well as the cost of living crisis is going up, it's going to get more expensive on a day-to-day to survive, to live. So while stuff is relatively, you can relatively afford it now. Before it does start creeping up, why not have a little stockpile of food, or a little stockpile of medication, or a little stockpile of children's nappies, baby wipes, stuff like that, that don't really go out of date. So if anything does happen, if you lose your job, if the cost of living crisis does shoot up, at least you've got a little bit of a safety net you can fall on, and you're not worrying, you're not panicking about it. So in these uncertain times, I think people should look at being a bit more self-sufficient, and just trying to put things in place to move forward if something does happen. So instead of getting stuck back, you can carry on plodding on day to day, without it majorly affecting your life. And that's what being prepared is all about. I'm saying not to be a doomsday prepper, to be a bit more self-sufficient and be a bit more prepared in 2024. So that's just my reasoning why I think people should be looking at being a bit more prepared in a day-to-day life in 2024. That's why I'm getting a little bit more into it, and I'm going to bring everybody along who's interested anyway in this journey of me getting a little bit more in depth into preparedness. I am going to do another video on 5 like overlooked things in prepping. Okay, so from what I see, especially on YouTube and stuff like that, a lot of the American content doesn't really apply to the UK, should I say. We're a smaller country. You've got these kits and stuff that you can go and live in the desert or wherever for days on end without seeing anybody. But in the UK, we're a small island. You only have to walk a couple of hours before you come across a farm, a building, a village, something like that. So we won't go weeks, days, months without seeing anybody, because we're such a small island. We're kind of on top of each other. So I'm going to bring you along for the content and try and make it relevant, in my eyes, to the UK. If anybody else has got any ideas, or any UK preppers who stumble across this, I don't know if you will, because I'm not the biggest of preppers, or I'm not the best at prepping. I'm just delving into it a lot more now and bringing people along for this journey. Please comment any advice, it'll be much appreciated. And if you've got any negative comments, put them in, I'm not really bothered. But anyone that can give me some knowledge or with positive feedback, that'll be much appreciated. And again, if this video's helped anybody to understand, or maybe want to put their own preps into motion because of what I've said, brilliant, share it and stuff like that. On the next video, we're going to touch on some things that I think, again, like I've just went over, people overlook in prepping. Everyone watches the videos and they want all the Gucci kit, they want this, they want that, they want the other. But they overlook certain things that in not just prepping, but in your day-to-day life will help you out. Okay, I've been Panda. That's me touching on why I think you should be prepping in 2024. And stay tuned. Hope you're enjoying these prepper videos. Again, if you watch my videos for the outdoor stuff, I have got a fishing trip planned. I have got some other stuff planned. And we have got a vehicle build that we're going to be getting underway as well. I'm going to do you've seen a few maintenance stuff on that, but I will do a walk around of the vehicle properly and explaining the direction we're going in it. In the up and coming videos in the next couple of weeks, there will be a full video. Okay, so I've been Panda. Thanks for watching. Stay prepared, and let's hope to catch you outdoors sometime. Take care now. Goodbye.